Welcome back to Under Oath. Welcome back to the Under Oath, the Vietnamese coffee edition. Now, for those who've never been introduced to Vietnamese coffee, it's super strong coffee with condensed milk.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sweet and it will wake you up.
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sleep for 2 days.
And just so you know why we support and sponsor this, it's this simple. We knock out 5 15-minute shows in 35 minutes.
Yes, we actually...
The space-time continuum does not exist in the Vietnamese coffee world.
Actually, in this coffee is 121 gigawatts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm already at 66 miles per hour.
There you go, man.
Every country that hates us
Yeah.
is here for the World Cup.
Every country.
Every country that hates us is because of the World Cup. And you know what is cured? They go to Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
The minute they walk into a Buc-ee's, they're going, America!
That's how you fix everything
Yes,
wrong in the world.
send them to Buc-ee's.
Send them to Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
It's hard to be mad
Forget
at
the White
America.
House.
Yeah.
Don't go to D.C.
Buc-ee's,
Take
bro.
them to a Buc-ee's. I'm happier going to a Buc-ee's.
Correct.
You want to improve my life? Buc-ee's is the Disney World of stores.
Hallelujah.
I walk in there. Ooh, what's this?
Yeah.
Every snack I want.
Every kind of
Every
beef
snack.
jerky known to man.
Barbecue.
Yes.
Good barbecue.
Teriyaki.
How do you have good barbecue
At
in a
gas
7-Eleven?
station, bro?
Oh.
That brisket sandwich could cure, I'm telling you, man, world peace.
Oh.
Brisket.
Oh, and we've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
The bathrooms.
Oh, my gosh.
Are there better bathrooms than at
Never.
Buc-ee's?
Never.
I'm taking pictures and I'm going to call a contractor and go, do the same for my bathroom. at home."
Yes. The feng shui is right there for me to do my business.
I want you to know, I've streamed full movies in the Buc-ee's bathroom.
I made a movie
Oh, yeah.
in the Buc-ee's bathroom.
I watched
Yeah.
all 8 episodes of Spider-Man Noir in the Buc-ee's bathroom in
Ooh,
Daytona
by
Beach.
the way, I'm loving that, by the way.
That's good.
Yeah, that's
real
good. That's very good.
That's real good. Okay, let's pretend we practice.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
It's time for Legally Screwed. All
Okay.
right. I got a great question. This is a
All
good one. Okay. I'm just going to start off by saying this line. Then I'm going to read you the actual synopsis.
Okay.
I chased a shoplifter and he ran into a pole. Now he's suing me for $50,000. Bruh. First off, let me say this.
I thought that was a strip club case, but okay, go ahead. All right.
Unless your name begins with Bruce and ends in Wayne, you
Yeah.
are not a vigilante. Don't chase anybody. That is my legal advice. But here we go. My family owns a convenience store, and we've dealt with constant shoplifting.
Right.
So when someone stole a $3 loaf of bread, I chased him for several blocks. The
Ooh.
chase ended when he ran directly into a telephone pole and suffered injuries requiring facial surgery. Now he is suing me for damages, $50,000 in medical expenses,
$50,000.
arguing that chasing him was an unreasonable response to him stealing
To
my
theft.
stuff. Yes.
Okay. Now, nobody talks about this.
Let's talk about it.
Protecting stuff
Mm-hmm.
is different than protecting people.
That makes sense so far.
And even animals are considered stuff, so I don't want you to be mad at me. But that's the rule.
Animals are not
Animals are stuff.
living creatures. They
Property.
are stuff and property. Got it.
So the issue is this. Did I do something unreasonable? Did I show an amount of force that was greater than what I was dealing with? Now, this is going to be state specific, people. So don't get
Okay.
mad at me over this.
Okay.
Don't go, well, in my state, I get it. But in the 18 states I'm licensed in, most of these apply.
Okay.
What a jury has to decide most times is going, was this person 50% responsible for their own injury?
Okay.
If you're responsible for 50% or more of the injury,
Okay.
then they're not going to care.
Mm-hmm.
Did I cause you to do this? No. If you didn't steal this bread, that would not have happened. Now, that's what they call a but-for test. But for your conduct, would this have happened?
Okay.
Okay. So in the scenario, let's change it up a bit. As you're running, I throw a 10-pound something at
Bag
you.
of potatoes at
Or
you.
I fling a baseball bat at you.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. Clearly, the force is a lot higher than needed.
Okay.
Okay. So that's really what you're
Because that's
dealing
a violent act towards
Yes.
you. Yes.
So in this scenario, chasing after somebody who stole something, it's not that big a deal.
It doesn't sound like it to me.
No, it's not going to be that big unless
Mhm.
you had certain rules.
Okay.
And this was an employee, not a family member.
Got it.
It was an employee and there was a specific set of rules and he chose not to follow these rules.
Like the rules say,
the company said, don't do this.
don't do this. Yes. Okay. Got it.
And once you go against company policies and stuff like that, some insurance companies also have rules that says you can't do this.
Or they won't pay. Oh,
Exactly.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, half the people watching and listening to this are going to disagree, but The store's not going to be responsible for this person's injuries.
Even though I chased the thief.
Yep.
Okay, well, let me ask you this then. Where is the line between protecting property and reckless conduct?
I'm going to make this simple for the non-lawyers out there.
Okay.
Real simple. I can't use a force that exceeds the necessary force to stop it.
Okay.
And that applies in most self-defense cases, and it applies in a scenario like this one.
Okay.
Can I use a baseball bat or a gun to shoot you for stealing a loaf of bread? I cannot use deadly force to protect property normally.
Okay, you just lost half of Florida now. We want to shoot.
This is a BS concept about Florida.
Okay.
Now, you're going to hate this, but everybody outside of Florida
Mm-hmm.
is going to hate what I have to say.
Outside of Florida. Okay.
Outside of Florida. We are not unusual. We just don't have a lot of it going on.
Okay.
So when something happens here,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Lord,
Yeah,
do mothers kill their kids in big cities
they do.
all the time?
Yes.
Do me a favor. Name a mother in California who killed their kid.
I don't know one.
LA, San Diego, San Francisco. Name one mother who killed their kid.
One mother?
Just one mother.
I don't know one.
Okay. Name one mother in New York City who killed their child.
I don't know one in New York either.
Name one woman in Orlando
Casey Anthony.
who is accused of killing their
Casey
family.
Anthony. Why? Oh my God. Why did I help you do?
Because that's the truth.
That's the truth. Yeah.
That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Racism happens everywhere.
Yes.
Mothers kill their babies everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't happen here. So our local news picks it up like it's a huge deal.
Huge.
It's
Yes.
a monstrous deal here.
It did. Yeah.
You know, we're Disney World. Come on, we're likable.
Yeah.
Now, we do weirder stuff. Like we eat people's faces and throw gators in people's windows.
We do.
But that's 2 cases
Mm-hmm.
in the last, 30 years?
Yes.
So you have Casey Anthony, Zimmerman,
Mm-hmm.
Gator, guy eating face.
Yeah.
That's our 4.
That is our 4.
That would be called a slow afternoon in Los Angeles.
Facts. You're absolutely right.
So, I don't mind the bad reputation because people are afraid of us.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this one last question. Now, could the length of me chasing the suspect affect the liability? Like, instead of me chasing him 2 blocks, I chase him 2 miles.
Everything is a factor.
Okay.
Everything's a factor.
Mm-hmm.
And when we talk about cases, we have to appreciate that concept.
Okay.
That every little piece is going to be put in front of a jury. It's going to be put in front of an insurance adjuster
Mm-hmm.
having to make a decision on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to the length of a chase, if I chased you and you're driving a car, for example, and I chase you for 20 miles and you crash your car, I'm going to be responsible.
Yeah, you are.
And the truth is, I probably shouldn't be chasing you in a car because even police officers aren't allowed to chase people under a lot of circumstances.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of cities say you can't do it.
Got it.
I had a case, for example, where a police officer was chasing this guy for stealing the car. Now, this is a horrible case.
Mm-hmm.
The good part about it is I've already settled it. There's not an issue of non-disclosure agreements.
Okay.
But I represented this mother and this daughter who were hit by a fleeing subject. And the fact was the police department had passed a rule that they weren't going to allow these chases. And the police officer violated his own rule of conduct and did it anyway. And then tried to lie about it. And said, "Oh, we weren't that close." Well, his own police car hit my client and the oil sprayed everywhere.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So we had the video, but they were lying and said, "Oh, well, we didn't have it. We don't know what you're talking about." And we subpoenaed all of it. I love body cam.
Do you?
I love body cam like I love oxygen.
Okay. For lawyers? That's
Oh, yeah.
got it. Okay.
Because it does 2 things.
it's like crack.
It defines the truth. I don't have to worry about a client lying to me.
Okay.
And then I don't have to worry about the officer lying to me.
Correct.
But people be very careful. Almost every major police force uses body cam.
Mm-hmm.
And when they claim that the body cam wasn't working or malfunctioning, there is an unbelievably great possibility you are being lied to.
Seriously.
These cameras are expensive.
I bet they
And
are.
they're meant not to malfunction.
Mhm.
They're tested with people running around. They're tested dropping bricks on them.
Mm-hmm.
These things can survive a ridiculous amount of abuse.
Mm-hmm.
So when the camera suddenly malfunctions in an iffy situation, not great.
Doesn't look good.
No bueno.
Okay.
And when that normally happens, I normally will then try to file a lawsuit against the company that made the cameras.
And they'll tell you.
And immediately, suddenly the city will settle
Got it.
because they know. They know.
didn't malfunction.
They know squirrely stuff. And I love police officers. I do.
My mom was a cop.
I love police officers.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when bad stuff happens, I want to be able to call somebody because
Absolutely.
I'm not qualified to stop bad people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not.
I'm not built for that.
I mean, I served 3 years in the military. I'm not going to arrest anybody.
Me either.
I will protect people I care about. I will
Mhm.
protect myself, but I'm making that phone call
Yeah. Me
because
too.
I'm not qualified.
Yeah.
So I need somebody to call. So
Mhm.
everyone goes, screw the police, everything else like that. Those are people who don't need to call the police.
I do.
And what's strange is the minute they need to call the police, they get mad.
Amen.
Oh,
Amen.
the police didn't respond. Well,
You said you didn't need
you
them.
said you didn't need
There
them.
you go.
If I was a police officer, it'd be tough for me. I couldn't be a police officer. I'd be mad all the time.
Why? Why
Because
do you think?
I don't want to walk into a place where I'm hated 24/7.
Mm.
And being a police officer was semi-honorable years ago.
When I was growing up, it was.
Yeah, the police would come in, they talk to your class, you go, this is cool.
We
I want-
love.
I want to be
yeah.
a police officer.
Yeah.
I guarantee if you run a poll from people who grew up at this age and now and ask them if they want to be a police officer, that number might be 1/5.
It's drastically lower than what it was.
And
I
it's
would
a
agree.
shame. If you want to improve the relationship police officers have with their community,
Mm-hmm.
I think we got to bring our police officers back into our communities.
Yes.
I think you have to
You
have
are
parole
right.
cars. I think you need to have people on corners now where the officer's sitting there. And let's say you're in a bad neighborhood.
Mhm.
And we have bad neighborhoods all over Orlando, and it's not particular to a certain race, ethnicity, or anything else.
No.
You could just have bad neighborhoods.
Correct.
You want to solve a bad neighborhood problem? Park a police car right in front and have the officer sit in a picnic table and play cards.
Mhm.
Because you know what I found out doing criminal offense many years ago?
What'd you find out?
People do not commit crimes when police officers are sitting there.
Usually they don't.
They wait for a police officer to leave.
Yeah.
Well, what's happening? He ain't leaving. Well, we got to move.
Yes, right.
You run a crack house, you know how to solve a crack or a drug house or a meth lab?
Mm-hmm.
Park a police car right outside front.
That's so funny.
They go, oh, we're not cooking here anymore.
No, we're not.
It's being there. It's being a member of the community that will change us.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know when we stop doing it. But we need to start doing it again. And I'm sure the police officers who work in that neighborhood, when they start getting the respect from people in those neighborhoods, who will say, oh, thank God you're here. You know, since you got here, I can sleep at night.
Mm.
I think a basic right that every human being should have in this country, in every country,
Yeah.
is the right to sleep peacefully.
God bless.
That is the one time where we're the most vulnerable. And it doesn't matter how much money you have.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of people breaking in your house is going to cause just a ridiculous amount of angst. And that's why I think police officers should be in our neighborhoods. And then you wouldn't need 500 police officers on the street writing tickets where they're hated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anybody who's been pulled over and goes, hey, thank you for that speeding ticket, officer. Thank you for doing your job.
Mm-mm.
They're doing their job.
No. No.
Sitting next to me is my partner, Craig Lind. I've been asked about our appearances. They say
Our appearances.
our appearances. They go the cowboy shirt, the ripped jeans, the python shoes. Then I'm wearing, corduroys with Jordans.
Yeah, we have very different styles. But the people who are asking that question should know that you bought me these Python boots.
I did.
Aren't they nice, folks?
Yeah.
Can you see them? Do I need to put my foot up by my chin?
See, I'm a good friend. Craig will wear shoes into the ground.
Yes, I will.
The last pair of boots he had were conservatively,
Oh, those are 4 years old, right?
but he doesn't. You know how most people have like multiple boots?
no, I get a favorite pair, and then that's the pair I wear,
You wear those things out.
and I wear them to death.
It doesn't matter
Till the
whether they
soles
match the
fall
shirt or
off.
not.
Yes.
They're going.
Oh yeah, of course.
Rob Reiner and his wife.
Rob Reiner.
Rob Reiner and his
Didn't he
son.
die?
About a year ago, his son allegedly took both their lives.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well,
I had heard he died. I didn't know how.
it was sad, and the problem is that this child had some issues. And he's not a child, he was a grown adult, and now is on trial for basically murder or whatever California's version of murder is. He wants to access his trust account to get the money to pay for his lawyers. And I wonder who set up that trust account.
Well, it's not an inheritance, right? So Florida has
Right.
a law that says if you murder somebody, I think this is the
You're
ex-wife,
presumed that you
the
died.
ex-wife statute.
You predeceased them.
that if you murder somebody and they give you their money in the will, you can't get it, right?
Yeah, it's assumed that you predeceased them, so you get skipped. But in California,
But this is a trust.
This is his
isn't
trust
inheritance.
account. They
so
set it
these were
up.
set up.
And he's supposed to get the money when he's 30 and 35.
Well, what does the trust say?
That he's supposed to get the money between 30 and 35.
I think it would be to his benefit to not go to prison for the rest of his life.
Yep.
I think you can make a pretty good argument on why you can access the trust money to hire an attorney. Yeah.
You're the estate attorney. Obviously, you've been put on by Rob Reiner and his wife before they died. And this kid's asking for the money. And I guarantee his attorney had a good relationship with them.
Probably.
But
I got a fiduciary duty to my client.
You do.
Do I not?
You do.
Yeah.
But are you human? Emotionally, you and I go, oh, come on. But legally, we go, give him the money.
Yeah, you have to give him
It's his money. Got to give it to him. You know, it's not like an inheritance. He didn't predecease these people. This is money in an account for him. Doesn't matter that the parents put it in there for him. The only question...
How ironic. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
If he gets off?
That you put money in your kid's account only for that kid to use that same money that you put there out of love and dedication to your child. They use that to get off of the crime of killing you. There's a certain wrongness in the world when that happens.
You know what? As a parent, this person who supposedly did the killing had a reputation his whole life of being, how can I say, watched. They knew
how did he kill his parents? How did that happen? Did he bludgeon them to death? Did he shoot them, stab them? What did he do?
Supposedly.
Our producer just did the throat slash. He cut their throats.
Yeah,
Are you serious?
Yeah, we just lost the algorithm just shut us down. He was unalived.
Oh, sorry.
I
used the wrong synonym for unalived.
Okay, here's what sucks. And it really does. This kid had mental issues since he was a teenager.
He did both of them that way?
Yeah. Yeah, supposedly. Allegedly.
Most
likely.
What are we going to get sued for?
you know, I wish a reporter wouldn't use, they killed him. He goes, well, most likely. I'd like the most likely term used instead of allegedly now. Because allegedly sounds like, he probably didn't do it. Allegedly sounds like, we're not sure.
It's just, he stands accused.
Better than not. There are a lot of issues and reporters, when they really want you guilty of something, they have no problem not using the word allegedly. But this kid, supposedly, there was a lot of people around him that said his parents made accommodations for his issues. Emotionally, I don't like it. But legally, listen, this is his money. And normally, as an executor, I have a duty to put this money in place in the most needed area. And paying your attorneys to keep you out of prison probably is one of them.
I wonder if there is a way to claw money back out of a trust if the person who is the beneficiary does something heinous.
Only if you were probably calculating that before the money was put into the account.
Well, I think they kind of had a clue that this guy was big problems.
Well, let's say he had a mental issue.
Was it a drug issue or a mental issue or both?
Well, it could be drugs. It could be mental. It obviously was a lot because you just don't arbitrarily just kill a person because you have a drug habit.
Well, that's sort of confusing too. What is his defense saying? Are they saying he didn't know that he was killing his mom and dad? He thought they were burglars, or thought there was the devil or demons, or he was hallucinating and this was something other than his parents? Or are they saying, yeah, he knew they were his parents and he was killing them anyway?
They're going to use some form of an incapacity defense to argue that he didn't have the ability to understand his actions.
Well, I just read up on it. He stabbed both of them multiple times. You might be able to get away with that. I couldn't appreciate what I was doing. I stabbed them once. But when you stab each of them multiple times, so bad that they die within minutes. You know how many times you got to be stabbed, died within minutes?
Exactly. It's sad, it's stupid, and it's painful. This kid needed help a long time ago. Now, I have a special needs child.
Yeah, that's not the Jeff. This guy,
hold on. The accommodations I made for him growing up, it was my job to make sure when you have a child who has mental issues, it's your responsibility to make sure he gets the help he needs. He's in the place he needs to be. In this scenario, you're talking about a family that had stupid money. I mean, Rob Reiner was ridiculously
Yeah,
rich.
he directed stuff. He was
No, he had a ridiculous amount of money. He had enough money, and they're going to say, well, what about the $1.5 million trust? He didn't have that much. No, he had more, but
well, we think.
that gets inherited. No, you have property, you have movies, you have rights. There were interviews of the party he was at beforehand. It was Conan O'Brien's party the night of.
Ooh,
Yeah. And
the killer was at Conan O'Brien's party the night of the murder?
he was causing problems. It was Rob Reiner and his wife asked Conan if they could bring their son to this party. And the son was acting really weird, like crazy, like emotional issues, everything else like that, agitated, angry. You know, people there didn't know what to do. They didn't know how to deal with
I
him.
think this is just a spoiled, entitled brat of a kid who never was told no his whole life. And that's what happens when you become adult who's never been told no.
No, I think there's a big difference between an a-hole and somebody who's mentally incompetent. I think this kid, I guarantee he's been in therapy since he's been 8. And they know he has a history of this. He was still living at home. I mean, this was a messed up kid. The question is, was he so messed up that murder is excused?
So let's say they find that he wasn't mentally responsible. What then? Just turn him out on the street? Oh, it's California. Yeah, they probably let him right back out.
No, they put him in an institution. He'll be institutionalized. The question is for how long and where?
3 months. It's California, man. They'll let him out in 3 months. Hey, he wasn't responsible. He's reformed now. Here you go. Here's some cutlery on your way out.
I don't want to talk about a whole state like that. That's unfair. I mean, I think they're.
Well, it is California. So.
I think California does sometimes see things a little differently, and it's weird how we define a whole state. Well, California does this, like the whole state is doing something.
Yeah.
I was just in Susanville. That's a prison town. There are different parts of California. There are your highly liberal and your highly conservative parts. It just so happens there's more liberals than conservatives in California. But you are right. They kind of allow a little more hokey stuff to go on there, a little more voodoo mental science. This guy clearly had mental problems. The question is should we forgive him?
No. Never.
I'd be interested to see that the doctors involved, what they would say. I promise you this. His history of mental illness is brutal.
If he killed his parents, you can never trust him again.
Well, I'm not saying you can't trust him. I wouldn't let him in my house.
You can't trust him. You can't trust him outside of supervision. Who's he going to kill next?
Well, that's every murderer then.
Yes, exactly.
But we do let them out eventually.
We shouldn't. I know we do.
20 years, 30 years. How many years?
Who cares? Who cares?
Well, that's not where our system works.
It is the way our system works.
No, it's not.
One of the purposes of our
there's
system
20 years,
is
there's 30
punishment.
years, there's heat of passion.
Punishment. You murder somebody.
It's not always a scenario.
You murder somebody, you don't get to come out ever again.
You and I have represented in our earlier career people who were mentally deficient. You and I, remember we had judges who wanted to prosecute this one kid who had Downs. He had like an IQ of 45 or something like that. And the judge wanted to proceed forward with him. But Your Honor, he can't process what's going on. So yeah, punishment is always a key, but we also have to understand the person we're dealing with. I'm not saying this kid walks. I'm saying that this kid is clearly screwed up. The question is, how screwed up is he? Should he get his trust money? Yes, but here's how I'm playing it off. If I'm in charge of the trust, I'm going to go, well, how much do you want, Mr. Attorney? Well, I'm going to need $1.5 million to defend him. And you and I both know there are attorneys out there who will figure out a way to do this.
California murder defense. Yeah, that's probably is $1 million.
$1.5 million.
Probably is $1 million.
How many hours do you think a human being
Doesn't
can put
matter.
into that?
It's the wear and tear on your soul that you have to.
Wear and tear on soul? That's part of my bill?
Wear and tear on your soul.
Can I put that in the final closing document?
Yes.
Jeff Kaufman's wear
I had to represent this reprehensible
That's your choice.
person. Yeah, for a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't get...
For a lot of money.
This is my soul money?
Yeah.
Stop it. And half these high-end criminal defense attorneys have no soul. So we're good.
Well, they sold it.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Some of these guys are so good with murder.
Sold it.
They love it.
They got good money for their soul,
murder.
too. They got good money for it, too.
See, what you don't know about criminal defense, a lot of people don't realize. The bigger the crime, the bigger the payday. Ooh, first-degree murder.
Yeah.
That'll pay for my car. That's what happens in criminal defense. That you don't get paid for the DUIs. You got to do a lot of DUIs. One murder, ooh, that's probably equivalent to like what, 1,000
but
DUIs?
How many murders can actually afford an attorney to go hourly? I mean, that's got to be few
Wealthy
and far
people?
between. Yeah, but how many murderers are millionaires?
Well, how many private attorneys represent murderers? That's the question. They're not all represented by the public defender's office.
Yeah, well, you got to have special. Maybe our people don't know that you have to have a special certification to represent
When the
somebody
death penalty
when
is
the
there.
death penalty is an
Right.
option. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, on that note, he should have access to the trust. But if I'm the estate attorney, I'm going to monitor how much money he's going to get, because he might need that money later. And he can say, listen, you're not going to use all of this.
You're going to be doing a lot of time in prison. We can get you some candy bars so you can negotiate.
Well, or we have to
Maybe you
have,
can buy some protection in prison so you can get beat to death in
or there
there.
has to be money when you get out eventually. And probably there will be an eventuality. Well, he'll be 50, 60, 70, but they need money when he gets out. Welcome back to Under Oath. Today we have director Eric Appel. Eric, can you hear me?
I can hear you great. Yeah.
I got to tell you, I love the way, you went into directing so amazingly. Improv, all this great sketch comedy, and, you did Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I mean, come on. I mean, how
Yeah,
many great
some
things
really
can you
fun
do to
shows.
prepare yourself for this?
Yeah. I was lucky enough to start my career doing some internet videos, for Funny or Die back in the day, and so many fun TV shows I got to work on, which is Silicon Valley was great. My first episode of television was The Office, where I was like 30 years old. It was the 8th season of The Office. I could not have been more nervous about stepping onto a set and directing.
I can't even imagine that opportunity. You're going, your agent calls you up and says, hey, man, how would you feel about doing this?
Yeah, it was a lot of it. It was really right place, right time. I was in a meeting. I think Mindy Kaling was supposed to direct the episode, but she had to go on a book tour during the prep week. And I was in a meeting that was not even about The Office. And the meeting was going really great. And they said, "Are you a fan of The Office?" I said, "Yeah." They're like, "What are you doing next week? Would you be available to start prepping an episode to direct it?" And yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I mean, that's just a weird thing. You're telling your friends, hey, what are you doing this week? Directing The Office.
Yeah. Sorry, I can't make it over to your party you were having. I'm going to be at Dunder Mifflin.
That's amazing. See, a lot of directors, when back in the 80s and the 90s, they learned off Super 8 cameras and everything else. But with cell phones and everything else, any kid can do this without major technology.
It's crazy. I wish I had the tools that kids have today. I used to make a lot of movies with my friends when I was a kid, but we'd have to hook 2 VCRs to each other. And, we'd have play what we shot on one tape, hit record on the other. Everything's all janky and edited weird, but we made the best of, what we had.
Oh, man, I fully support that. Well, hold on. You got a new movie out, with Nate Bargatze. And I'm
Yes.
also a stand-up comedian, so I appreciate what you're doing here. It's The Breadwinner, right?
Yes, The Breadwinner. Yeah. Nate Bargatze, Mandy Moore, a ton of comedians, Will Forte and Kumail Nanjiani and Zach Cherry and Colin Jost. And it's a really, really fun cast.
Now, when you get this opportunity, because you just did this critically acclaimed movie about Weird Al, which was, it's an amazing
Yes.
movie. I can't even tell you how good that movie was.
Thank you.
And then you go, okay, we got our next movie in line is we're going to take this stand-up comedian who is ridiculously popular. Nate is a brilliant comedian.
Yeah.
And were you going, okay, it's so hard to translate from stand-up to regular acting. I mean, was that a concern, or were you going, no, I think this guy's got this?
I think I was going, I think this guy's got it. I think there's something about his onstage persona, his very specific cadence. So much of what makes Nate funny is just the very specific way that he says things. And he feels kind of like a little bit of an everyman in his own, unique way. But I'm I think that if I can channel that into a performance, the character that he's playing in the movie is very similar to the real Nate, So if I could just get him to loosen up and know his lines, he kind of has to be himself.
Oh, yeah.
and the way that he interacts with other people is the way it's a lot of it's based on his stand up. So it's like just trying to figure out how to dramatize some of the bits that he does on stage, and have them work, for this movie.
Now, ridiculously popular. I've seen him in concert. I know how hard it is to travel, be a headline comedian, and travel all over the country. Now, when you put that many talented people on the set, the script kind of is in and kind of out at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. When you throw a bunch of comedians in, you get what's on the page first, but there's a lot of ideas flying around. I'll tell you that. There's a lot of improv. We like to keep it loose. It's usually the improv. A lot of stuff. The improv's great on set just for getting everybody loose. Like you let people play around with the material, but you kind of know at the end of the day, a lot of that's going to get cut. But what it does is like it makes letting people improvise in the scene or add on at the end of a scene just gets them more comfortable. And then the parts of the scene that you do end up keeping just feel a little more natural and real because everyone's looser from, bringing their own ideas in and inhabiting the characters a little more.
It's interesting. Anytime you see a blooper video, you see actors like losing their mind, like trying to keep from laughing. I can't imagine this set was much different because there are a lot of funny people on that set.
Yeah, there were. It was a lot of laughs, and there's a gag reel at the end of our movie, during the credits. We're also bringing back. It's a real throwback movie, and we're also bringing back the gag reel. So
I think there's so many cool things about that. We deal now with streaming services and competition in movie theaters, and movie theaters they've taken a beating lately because I don't know if people have come back from COVID as much. And I'm afraid we might lose our movies.
yeah, you're starting to see it come back. I think the last it was pretty bad for a few years there, but this year in particular has been very exciting. I mean, I've been to so many sold out movies this year, and it seems like it's really picking up. And I hope like there hasn't been a movie like Breadwinner in theaters in quite some time. This sort of all ages family comedy that appeals to, like I'm happy bringing my kids to it. I'm happy bringing my parents to it. Like we can truly all watch it together. Like, like one of those old 80s, 90s comedian led movies, that we used to have all the time. And I think hopefully we see like for a while, it felt like it was only superhero movies that were coming. It was like horror movies and superhero movies coming out. And hopefully there's like a new diversity of movies coming to the theater, and big comedies should be one of them. There's nothing more theatrical than sitting in a room with 100 strangers and laughing at something together.
Listen, I'm a fan. I write comic books too. I'm a fan of comic book movies, but I think putting them out solely hoping that they're this big blockbuster instead of making it these great movies, I think we got lost a little bit. And
Yeah.
I think we're slowly slowing it up, going, okay, let's just make sure we do the good ones now.
Yeah, yeah. And there's like it feels like there's a new independent film boom coming back, with like the way Obsession has been performing in theaters in the last couple of weeks has been insane. And yeah, hopefully I just there's nothing like going to the movie theater, and it would really be the worst thing ever if we lost movie theaters. People need to get off their individual screens and go back to watching things with other people. It's like a community event.
I go to like I take my son's autistic, he's 20, and I take him to the movie every Tuesday night, and we see about 48 movies a year. And, there's the good ones, and then there's, hey, we're suffering through something that should have went straight to Apple or something. So I don't quite know what to do.
Well, hopefully ours is one of the good ones. I mean, I think that I've seen it with a bunch of audiences at this point, with kids and with grandparents and everything. And it plays really well. Like the laughs are there from start to finish. There's a lot of heart. I hopefully people are really going to love it.
Nate has a huge following, so I hope it really pushes, because when I say he sells out arenas like basketball courts,
I know.
It's crazy. I went to see him at the Kia Center in Orlando, and he sold out 18,000.
Yeah, it's crazy.
his fans are rabid, so let's hope it translates.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If they come out, and I think, but it appeals to we tested this movie for people that didn't know who Nate was, for people that were big Nate fans, and the people who didn't know who Nate was said, "Oh, that guy was great in the movie," and the people that
Right.
were Nate fans said, "This is the perfect movie for
Oh,
Nate." So
I
yeah,
love that. I love that. Now here's what's scary, Eric. This is what happens.
yeah,
God forbid this movie blows up.
right,
Then they go, hey, this director, he's hot. Let's give him this $200 million budget movie.
yeah. Give it to me.
Oh, oh.
I'll
I,
take it.
I, it always scares me sometimes because a lot of great directors who are fantastic they do a smaller movie where it's a 6 to 10 to $50 million
Yeah.
budget, and suddenly they throw them into, let's say, like a Star Wars franchise, where it is there a big difference between directing something clean, where it's a lot of relationships, compared to let's just say a lot of sci-fi, a lot of action.
I would say, like, the difference in all those things, the more money a movie costs to make, the more voices there are going to be, the more cooks are going to be in the kitchen. So that's the scary thing. The cool thing about those $200 million movies is you have so much more support, like the amount of artists that you have working on these movies. It seems to be a lot, but you get more days to shoot. But yeah, you sort of trade that for, like, the Weird Al movie. Even the difference between the Breadwinner and the Weird Al movie cost so little to make.
Yeah.
I was completely left alone to do whatever I wanted. But, like, studios get involved, and on other movies, the higher the budget goes, just the more pressure there is to make sure that it works. With Weird, it was like, I don't know, who knows if this will work, and they just kind of trusted me.
That is the weirdest thing. When when you're going, okay, there's no limits, there's no this. We are going to do whatever we want to do. We're gonna honor this guy who was brilliant. He still is. And how do you get it right when there's a real Weird Al?
Well, we wrote it together. So, like,
Okay.
Al wrote the movie with me, just like Nate collaborated with me, on this. Um, yeah, Weird Al and I wrote that script together, and he was on set the whole time. And we have very similar. I mean, he sort of helped create my comedic sensibility because I was such a big fan of his when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's almost like making a movie with your dad.
It's that line, about heroes. And
Yeah,
every once in a while, I've been very fortunate. I've only been burned once. Yeah, well, twice.
yeah,
When I met somebody I really loved. But when you got to meet, you were a fan. How do you
yeah.
have that first meet? Do you got to be cool? Or are you like, oh no, we're cool. We're like colleagues.
Yeah, it's really funny. The Weird Al movie started as a fake trailer. It was a fake movie trailer that I made when I worked at Funny or Die years ago. And I had worked with Patton Oswalt. I knew he was friends with Al. And I didn't want to, it felt like the kind of idea that Al would have done himself. So I asked Patton, could you reach out to Weird Al? I know you guys are friends. Tell him I want to do this fake movie trailer thing for the site, and just make sure he's cool with it. And within 20 minutes, I get an email from Weird Al. I'm like 28 years old at the time. I get an email from Weird Al, and he said, hey, I'm familiar with your work. Patton told me about this idea. I would love to work on it with you. This is just for an internet video.
Wow.
And that evening, I'm like on the phone with my mom on the way to this coffee shop to meet Weird. I'm like, I'm meeting Weird Al Yankovic. It's crazy. And when I showed up, Al is sitting in the back of this coffee shop. He has his laptop open, and he already has like every biopic trailer pulled up on his computer. And we just sit down, hey, nice to meet you. And we just start watching biopic trailers and talking through this thing. And it was just a great collaboration from the beginning. And just a bizarre experience, I think.
You mentioned your brother, and I got to tell you, it's a very weird thing for me, because my mother will say, "What are you doing today?" And I'll say, "Well, I'm interviewing this person." She'll go, "Who you interview?" And it's like a hero of hers. I remember the first
Yeah.
time we dealt with celebrity was when I was having dinner with I was writing comic books, and it was like Lou Ferrigno and Gil Gerard. And she goes, "Who you
Yeah.
having?" I said, "I'm having dinner with Lou and Gil." She goes, "Do I know them?" She goes, "You're having dinner with the Hulk and Buck Rogers?" Uh, your mothers don't quite take it the same way that you do. They get kind of fanny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. It's funny. I worked for Funny or Die, which was run at the time by Will Ferrell and Adam McKay,
Yeah.
and I got to go to the Step Brothers premiere and all this stuff. And I'm telling, but it was a very big deal for me getting that job. My salary was like higher than anything I had done before.
Yep.
It was like I was there for a year, and I was pretty young at I think I was 27 when I got hired there, and I called my mom to tell her how just this exciting news and my new job, and all she could think of was oh, did you meet Will Ferrell? Are you going to meet Will Ferrell? And I'm like, Mom, this is like a huge career moment for me. And all you can think is like, am I going to meet
Yeah.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
It's very funny, our relationship to celebrities.
It's because it's normal. But now I guess I got to ask a question because you mentioned this. When the money gets bumped and now you're not living off ramen noodles anymore,
Yeah.
do you get paranoid about it? Do you go, okay, I'm not going to blow this money. I'm not going to go get the super car. I'm going to not buy the huge apartment. Or do you go, you know what? I earned this. I'm going to go do this.
I'm it's a little bit of both. I had the job where I blew the money and went through it a decade ago. I did this show on Fox called Son of Zorn, where I was executive producer and directed half the episodes. And I thought the show was going to be such a huge hit that the money was going to keep coming. And so the first season of that show, I got paid more than I ever been paid for anything, and I was also like working nonstop.
Yeah.
So I was just like buying things to make myself feel better because I was so underwater and so stressed. And I had the money, and then the show ended, and I'm like, oh,
Oof.
now I just have all this stuff.
Debt.
All this-
Oh, God.
I had like Dodgers season tickets that year with like great seats, and I mean, I was living large. And then I had a couple of kind of scary years, and then COVID happened. I didn't work
Yep.
for the first 2 years of COVID. I didn't have a single job. I had to like, yeah, it was like very financially strained during that. I had to take loans out and stuff just to stay afloat. And then the Weird Al movie came after that, which I was lucky enough to get made, and now this, and so yeah. Hopefully it keeps going. Hopefully there's even more fun stuff ahead.
I think that's the one thing about directing. I think if you're good at it and you're reliable and people like you, there's always a kind of a job, whether it be on a sitcom, a series, because I always see
Yeah.
these great directors seem to be able to keep moving, whether it be like, from Star Jonathan Franks, he guys like that, always have a job. I think if you're dependable.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta make sure you wrap your days on time. You don't go way over budget,
Yeah.
and that you're like generally pleasant to be around, and you have good ideas too. You have to have those good ideas.
One of the last questions I want to drop is this. You're involved in the casting, and we actually deal with a lot of college kids who are trying to get jobs in acting and everything else. And I always try to get them, I go to the professionals like you and say, what an actor's in front of you trying to get that part. What is the best advice you can give them?
I mean, if they're fun, know your lines. I'd say for auditioning, try to remember those lines as well as you can, so you're not looking at the paper and you're not, and try to know it enough that you could really inhabit the character and not just be up there saying the lines. But I would say also, really, the most important thing. Let's see, what's a good piece of advice? Every character I've cast is like a version of the person that is playing that role. Like everyone in this movie, like Mandy Moore's character, it feels very similar to Mandy Moore. She's not playing, it's not something, it's still her, Nate is like a version of Nate. And all the kids in this movie, the young kids, are they good at acting? Yes, but are their personalities the right personalities for these roles? And then it doesn't, sometimes when you're auditioning, you could be a fantastic actor, but sometimes you're just not right for it for reasons that you just can't control because the writers just thought of something else, or you don't, when we put the kids together in this movie, we did big chemistry reads. We brought them all to Atlanta, a group of 6 of them, and we mixed and matched them. And some of it had to do with just like, who do you play best with, or who do you make the most sense standing next to, like height wise, even, So So just do the best you can, learn your lines, bring yourself to the role, but outside after that, it's out of your control, unfortunately.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Eric. I wish the best for this movie. I think it's going to do great. And
Thank you.
congratulations on everything you worked hard for. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Great talking to you.
Well, that wraps up today's show. I'm attorney Jeff Kaufman. Thanks for joining us. Special thanks to my two co-hosts, my good friend, professional comedian James John, and my law partner, Craig Lind. This show is sponsored by Kaufman Lind. If you or someone you know has been in an accident, contact us at 407-500-JEFF or 407-500-5333 for a free consultation, or visit us at whenyouneedus.com.